Some say that no one wants to listen to what I have to say. So I turned on my computer and started a weblog. Blogtv. I wanna be on Blogtv.
Good evening and welcome to Blogtv. I'm back.
Why are you back?
Oh, come on. Cut us some slack. Okay, he's Pin, I'm the Flying Dutchman. We've got some breaking news for you. Blogtv is a finalist at the Asian Television Awards for Best Talk Show.
Thank you very much, FD, for reading that piece of rubbish out so that I don't have to.
Thank you for being almost kind.
I appreciate your kindness and consideration.
You are still almost kind.
I love you.
Why are you doing this?
Oh, okay. That's because 13th of November is World Kindness Day, everyone.
And with that thought in mind, why are you wearing that shirt?
My t-shirt is thinking kind thoughts of you right now.
Right.
Yes, okay. So we've had the Singapore Kindness Movement, previously called the National Courtesy Campaign.
Yep.
Now, the National Courtesy Campaign was on for 30 years now. The Oxford Dictionary defines being kind as being considerate and generous.
G'day. The Australian Kindness Movement defines an act of kindness as a spontaneous gesture of goodwill towards someone or something. Now, we need you to tell us what you think about kindness and the kindness movement here in Singapore. Do that on the shout box, blogtv.sg.
That wasn't very kind of you.
Well, I've got relatives in Australia.
Yeah, and Australians do sound funny. Let us introduce our guests to you right now. We have guest number one over there. That is Tay Tian Yu, the GM of the Singapore Kindness Movement. We have Associate Professor Kirpal Singh from the School of Social Sciences. And we have Andre Uy, who is a graduate from LSE. He spent 3 years in London and a year in the US, so he can tell us all about how rude we are compared to the Americans.
Gentlemen, welcome to the show. So, a considerate or generous gesture, a gesture of goodwill to someone or something. Based on those decisions, let's get down to it for the people.
What's the
kindest thing you've done
this week?
I gave up a seat to a lady, a mother and a child, but she ignored me.
She ignored you?
She ignored me, but
wow.
I'm okay. I sat down again.
Yeah.
So that's all right.
So you sort of just aired the seat and then got back down again?
That's all right.
Did she make you feel a little embarrassed? That you
No, that's the thing, you see. Most people don't want to do anything in public because they're afraid of being embarrassed.
That's right.
Yeah. So, but if you get over it and say, hey, it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay.
Cool.
Kirpal, kindest thing you've done this week?
I think my kindest act was trying to help a very elderly gentleman cross the road. And I think he, in a way, has lost the capacity to actually articulate, like, thank you.
Okay.
But he nodded and smiled at me, and it was a smile I'll never forget.
So it was an acknowledgement.
It was an acknowledgement, and I felt very good about myself.
So heartwarming. It's Christmas already. Andre, what is the kindest thing you did this week?
Well, I can't think of anything extraordinary, but, you know, day-to-day things like keeping to the left of the escalator on the station. And maybe this week, at least, I haven't lost my temper at anyone yet. So I think that's a pretty great achievement.
Okay, you know, we've already got a comment on the shout box, which is quite interesting.
What?
The fact that we have a Singapore kindness movement shows that we really are unkind.
Well, that's a bit harsh, isn't it?
You reckon?
Why do you think
Why do we need it?
I mean, so it means that we have a medical school, it means that we're all sick, right? I mean, it doesn't follow, isn't it, necessarily? I mean, the logic is absolutely skewed.
Yeah.
Though I think maybe the person who sent that in actually has hit the point on its head. And that is, are we kind?
Yeah. I mean,
well, let's
seriously.
answer that question on a scale of 1 to 10. How kind
Wait,
do you
before
think
we get down to
Singaporeans
that,
are?
what's the kindest thing you've done this week?
Well, I had a really awful cab driver just yesterday, and the kindest thing I did was to not call up and report that person to his bosses, because he would have lost his job.
Wow.
He was saying very inappropriate things to me, so.
Really?
About my colleagues at MediaCorp, which I shall tell you another day. It's very salacious.
Oh my
Andy?
God. What's the, I have not complained about Glenn Ong coming to work late. Sorry, buddy.
Okay.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10.
Scale of 1 to 10. How kind
I'll
do
say
you think
about
Singaporeans
5.
are? Okay.
I'll say about 5. The reason I say that is because we've got a long way to go in terms of kindness. Because I think most of us in Singapore think that kindness is merely taking out the wallet or taking a checkbook and giving money.
Yeah.
And then we feel that we've been kind. So
Right.
what's wrong with us?
Yeah.
I don't think that's kind. I mean, that's kindness at a very simple, simplistic, and superficial level. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say about a 6 to 6.5.
Wow.
Well, I'm an optimist, so I think fundamentally Singaporeans would like to be kind, but most of the time, by the time they want to do something kind, the moment has passed them by.
I don't know if Singaporeans want to be kind or if it's more of a case where Singaporeans want other people to be kind to them.
I think it's always let the other guy do it first.
Yeah.
I would say a 6. I share with him, most of the time, kind acts happen spontaneously. It's over in a second because it's so natural. And we don't notice it unless you really look up for it. But bad acts, terrible acts, takes a long time so that it's enough time for you to storm.
Well, I think your figures are very, very high. I wouldn't put Singaporeans past 4.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I wouldn't put them past 4. I mean, I've had a daughter who for 18 years of her life has been opening doors and holding lift doors open, and no one ever says thank you to her.
That's true.
Because she's a child, they expect it. And I think that's terribly rude. Now, the Singapore Kindness Movement actually did a survey back in 2008. And of the 500 people surveyed, 55% were either unhappy or indifferent to the current level of graciousness experienced. Only 50% of them said please or thank you. And more than half said that Singaporeans are not considerate towards the elderly, pregnant women, and adults with very young children.
Why is this cause for concern?
Well, it's a cause for concern because, we've been talking about being a more gracious society, being a more giving, caring, loving society. And if you don't even have the sentiments for such, what I think of obviously calling for kindness
That's right.
situations, then we obviously have a very serious problem on our hands, don't you think?
What does that affect, though? I mean, in our day-to-day lives,
it
people are
makes
going
us,
to go,
it
why
makes
do I
us-
need to be kind?
It makes us a very funny-faced kind of society, like a bit sour-faced. Like we always have got, faces that look a bit unhappy,
Yeah.
not kind. And I think this is a real issue. Somebody said, Singapore, you guys are doing so well, but why are you not smiling and not saying thank you and all of that?
Why are we so inconsiderate?
Well, I don't think we are inconsiderate. We just happen to be inconsiderate, depending on the kind of things that we're talking about. I think most Singaporeans, if you ask them, are you considerate? They probably say, yes, I'm considerate. But I don't think they know what it means to be really kind. I think kindness goes beyond. And I wanted to talk with you. I mean, I don't think kindness is always just a spontaneous act, is it, Tenyu? I mean, it is spontaneous.
Yeah, it is spontaneous
but
to a large degree.
In terms of making it our culture,
Yeah.
it has to be more than just spontaneous.
It
has to
should
be
become a
sustained.
habit.
Yep.
It becomes a habit.
Absolutely.
But
Actually,
a
you're
habit,
right.
a habit is bred from culture, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But you're quite right in the sense that if you ask anybody, are Singaporeans kind? Most of the time they agree with you, 4 out of 10. But if you ask, are you kind and considerate? You say, yes, I am.
Exactly. Now, we ran our own kindness test, 2 different tests. One was a cutting queue test. And the second was a pregnant woman with her hands full and a child and trying to get onto an MRT.
That's right. Now, the first one, the cutting queue one, it was, we pretended that somebody was in a hurry, and we went to find out if people would let the person in a hurry cut ahead first, and we did it 5
times. How many times do you think the person was allowed to cut the queue?
Andre?
2.
2.
I would say it's 2.
2.
Yeah.
I said 6 out of 10, that should be a 3.
3. 6. Wow, 6 out of 10.
The pregnant lady,
Pregnant
how
lady
long
test.
do you think it took the pregnant lady to get a seat in the MRT? For somebody to stand up and offer her a seat?
4 out of 5 times?
No, how long would it
do you
take?
think it
How
took?
long? Maybe about 20 seconds. at
20
most.
seconds.
Wow.
Kapil?
I would say about at least 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
4 minutes, I'll say about 20 seconds too.
20 seconds.
Wow!
We are optimists.
We are going to play that video for you after the break. So, we will see you in just a little bit. I haven't seen one of the videos yet, but I'm not sure it's going to be,
4 minutes.
20 seconds is like, wow.
Immediate, huh?
20 and 20.
Yes.
Well, pregnant ladies are quite
4 minutes,
conspicuous.
Kapil.
Yep.
It goes with his age.
Andre, 20, Jen, 20. 20 seconds each.
Wow.
Yeah.